I am Mark Stewart, and I am reacting, but thoughtfully, to statements by somebody who is normally quite thoughtful, but not here. He is Justin Amash, congressman from Michigan, normally one of the best congressmen, okay? One of only three that I think deserve re-election. But his proposal is to let the money flow for many months to all people from the federal treasury, which means ultimately from us, to everyone. Okay? Everyone gets a check. $1,200 per person, add another $500 per child. This is not conservative. This is not libertarian. It is blunt, as most big government policies are. It is rife with unfairness, and we will see certainly when we look back a year or two from now at how much diabolical cheating has gotten on, because most government programs have cheating. The likelihood that some families with 3 kids double count them, spouse 1 and spouse 2. How's that going to get caught? Won't happen every time. There's $1,500 a month going to an undeserving family. And there's no strings attached. This is just money flowing out. Buy drink if you want. Gamble if you want. Look, even state welfare policies, when we give food stamps, they have restrictions. This has none. The best way to handle this financial crisis for a lot of people, remember, a lot of people aren't suffering. For those who are suffering, private distribution of help, manpower and money, is abundantly doable if we don't rely on government. It is even more doable because we have more in our pocketbooks. If we haven't been extracting unemployment insurance, the average couple that have been working 15 years, they would have saved $30,000 if their employer had paid that to them, and that probably would have grown in a conservative market $70,000, $75,000. Add to that that same couple that's been paying in, say 15 years each, to Social Security. Okay, more than double that cost. The couple that also has property taxes that are going to bad schools. All these, if kept in your coffers and invested conservatively, would allow people to weather this for 2 straight years of unemployment. Do the math. I did. Or come to my district, where in Hartford, Connecticut, we have people who help one another who need it. We know who's got it tough. And so we're delivering food. I am for one, providing jobs, part-time work, mostly on the sales end, and keeping people from really hitting the wall. We rely on each other, not government. Now, I'm going to profile a communitarian, often steeped in government, but even he, the mayor of Hartford, Luke Bronin, even he talks about community efforts because government can't always be there. Okay? This is a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat. And yet, Mr. Amash, a supposed libertarian, endorses the most socialistic of schemes. And it's more than just money. It's personal reliance. When we start relying on government, because check after check is coming, what'll happen when it stops? We'll need more. Who do people turn to at that point? Not to one another, not to churches or groups. They'll turn to Nancy Pelosi and other congressmen, usually Democrat like her, but Republicans are buying in as well. Justin's no longer a Republican, but same ilk. You used to have principle. You have a crisis and react with the wrong principles. how do we do it right in the future? Because a lot of good conservatives still have said, yeah, we've got to do this. We have no other way out. You build up a reliance on self. You build up a reliance on group. And you downplay what government might do for you. You make sure not to expect it. Look, if you were constitutionalists, you would know that the government doesn't even have, at the federal level, the power to be administering checks for people. It's not in there. States might, municipalities might, feds, no. So we look to one another. And just in case some people really don't have anyone to look to, okay? No family, no close friends, and they're hurting. How about allowing them to borrow against their Social Security surplus? Okay, we've paid in, and supposedly there's funding for after we turn 68 years old. Well, if you're 48 and need money now, you should, in theory, have an account. Borrow now because you need it. You won't be there later. Now, Social Security is probably not going to be there later anyway, so it'd be a good deal if you could borrow now, even if you were taking a pretty big haircut on what you expect. It would be smart to have now. That's a good use of government based on a bad Social Security system in the first place. Mr. Amash should be railing against Social Security and all federalized social welfare because it makes us less able to do the charitable impulses that I think we all have. And when we look to government, we lose many of those impulses. Thanks for listening. I'm Mark Stewart.